Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. You suck at Delta Force when it comes to building guns. Um, so today I'm gonna help you fix your absolutely tragic strategies of building your guns. For first step, um, come to the firing range. Just we're gonna take a butt naked random gun here. We're gonna go with just because ARs are easier to build. I'm not gonna build the M4 because that's like the most basic gun you can ever literal build in any game. We're gonna go with the CI-19. I don't even have this gun unlocked because I don't play the game ever. But we're just gonna for the sake of the video. So what you'll notice is there's gonna be this view details button when you come to the modding bench, and when you click that, you can scroll down to the details area, and it'll tell you damage control, handling, stability, and accuracy. And I'm going to tell you guys what each of these categories mean and how you can build your guns effectively for each category. So for damage, pretty self-explanatory. Damage is just what it does to a weapon, but like how much damage your gun does to somebody. And the damage fall off multiplier is basically just um like to a certain range when your gun starts to lose the damage. So for the CI-19 at about 30 meters, you're going to go from doing 25 damage or 22 damage, 22 to 47, and you're going to start dropping off and you're going to lose a small sliver of damage from your gun. And it's really cool what this game does and how like it goes into detail and depth about the modding because on the right side of the graph you'll see a part damage chart, and 47 damage is going to be how much your assault rifle does to the head, 25 to the chest, 22 to the shoulder, 22 to the arm, 25 to the groin area, 22 to the upper leg, and 22 to the lower leg. So it's just like it gives you a chart of where your gun's going to be doing damage at and what damage rate. Then control. This is a really, really, really cool sort of like way to see your gun's recoil pattern. So if we come here on the left over here, it's going to show your initial preset, which is the gun that's like without any mods. This is what initial preset is. Current modification is what you've done to your mods. What your recoil pattern looks like after your mods. Handling is how fast you ADS and how fast you can reload. Pretty self-explanatory there. Stability is really, actually, I think it's the most important sort of like way. It's like the most important piece of building a gun is stability. When it comes to building assault rifles, marksman rifles, SMGs, and snipers. Stability is the screen shake you're going to get on your screen when you're shooting. Your hit flinch multiplier is when you get shot by a bullet, how fast your player or operator is going to sort of flinch away, and it's going to mess up your accuracy. You want this to be as high as possible. It just sort of makes your aiming a little bit better. It's a lot more smooth. And then accuracy. This is probably the most confusing yet simple sort of piece to building a gun. Accuracy is hip fire only. When I started building the game, when I started building guns in the game, I thought accuracy was the accuracy of the gun. It's very misleading. I thought this was going to make my gun the best aiming weapon in the game, and it was like at it was like 74% accuracy, and I was like, why is this thing so terrible? So when you're building an assault rifle, I build mine around control, stability, and balance it around handling. I'm fine with a drop. So when I'm building a gun, the first thing I do is the mag. I first thing I do is come to the mag. 45 rounds and 60 rounds. I find myself reloading before I use up all 60 rounds. And this is just it's not worth it. You lose 12 handling, which is going to make your ADS speed super slow and your magazine reload speed super slow. Your stability and control both go down. I'm going to go with the 45 round mag because it does the same. It just your handling is equally as bad. It's just a little worse, or it's just a little better. And then you put the mag mat on there. it cancels out your it cancels out your handling by 1. So the next thing I go to is the rear grip. When you come here, you're going to find that these all sort of do the same thing with small integer increases when it comes to handling, stability, and control. I'm going to go with the new type sword heavy grip solely because my handling is going to be about what it was beginning. Stability and control are both going to come up, and those are the two that I want to focus on when building an assault rifle. So the next thing I go to is the stock, and the stocks are very, very, very like niche. Like there's specific stocks that are good for specific things. And if you want a better ADS speed, you can go with the shadow buffer tube stock, which just it drastically increases your handling. I'm not going to do that because, like I said, with ARs, I want to have the max stability and control there is. So we're going to go with the UR Spec Ops Tactical stock. This is the stock that I find the most effective when it comes to building assault rifles. So we'll get to the calibrate button later. That's a whole other just really cool thing that they added to the game that completely changes the depth of the modifications to the gun. Then I like to come to the barrel. The barrel, when it comes to the barrel, you want to, for me, when it comes to assault rifles, you want to have the best control and stability and range increase. So you can fire from far away with decent and much better recoil control. Accuracy, I don't care. You can nuke this all you want. Like when you're building an assault rifle, you're not doing this for hip fire in any way, shape, or form. So you can nuke that. You can literally have 0 accuracy and you will have a smooth shooting gun. So I'm going to install the new type Haddle Tactical Long Barrel. Then I like to move over to the foregrip. So after you install these, you can come back to your details and check that recoil pattern. I know it hasn't really changed that much, but it's sort of like the exact same that it was, but it's more tighter and a lot more controlled. So back to what I was saying, just you want to make sure that your gun is built so that your recoil pattern when it comes to assault rifles is the most effective it can be. So moving to the foregrip, we're going to notice how our recoil pattern over here is going to be sort of off to the right, and it's not going to be as straight. So we want this to be as straight line as possible. And this is where building the foregrip is going to come in super handy. The secret order bevel foregrip is the best for nuking horizontal control, or the best for nuking your horizontal recoil that there is. And when you come back to this control, you're going to notice how the recoil pattern went a little bit more straight. And that's where the muzzle comes into man when you can use the vertical compensator, which completely makes your recoil it just squishes it. Like you see that? We go to the firing range. We come back out to the firing range. My aim sucks, so don't take that as a bad mod. Gas block, this isn't on every gun, so just make the one that is the best. Optic, again, this is just personal preference. My favorite optic for ARs is probably the reflex sight, the hollow sight, and or the OKP reflex sight. So they're all better in their own respective categories. And I'm going to come with the reflex sight just because it's my personal favorite when it comes to assault rifles. Then we come to the patches. The patches is where stuff changes a lot. These are installed on your barrel, and they're there to help bring up categories that you lost. So I absolutely nuked my handling building this gun. So we're gonna come here with the DD Python handguard, and we're just gonna make this thing a lot better in the handling side. Because if we come back to details, handling, we lost 24 handling, and our ADS speed is atrocious. And that's where this fun tool calibration comes into hand. When you have the calibration tool, this is a whole different game-changing sort of like addition to the modification area. Since we lost a ton of recoil or a ton of ADS speed, we're gonna bring the placement closer to the gun. So this is gonna give us better ADS speed. Weight limit, we're gonna bring this up just for better control because stability while breathing, it's I don't it doesn't really affect it that much. Then for the rear grip, again, this doesn't really have any bearing on ADS speed or control. Well, it actually does with control, but we just offset this loss of 18% ability while breathing with this or stability while moving. So if we want to bring this back, I'm not going to sacrifice that for control. So I was wrong there. I'm not going to lie. I don't build the CI-19 ever. I don't even have the gun unlocked. So I just wanted to challenge myself for the video. Foregrip. This is where you can also change your ADS speed. This does not, ADS movement speed does not matter as much as you might think it does in other games. So you can nuke that. It does not matter. And then for weight limit, we're going to bring my ADS speed all the way up. Barrel, length, it genuinely does not matter that much. Muzzle velocity, I keep this balanced. I'm going to go with ADS speed because we nuked it, and then firing stability. So now when we take this back to shooting range, this is going to be the final gun that we've built. And if you want to make your recoil a little bit smoother, you can, for me, I have shift toggle to breathe. So I can just hold it like this. The guns are based on personal preference. So like, if you want to build an SMG, it's sort of the same way. People hipfire with SMGs, so you can use accuracy here. I don't. Shotguns, I build these around accuracy and range, and so that way I can be hip firing from decent far away. Light machine guns, never use these. Marksman rifles, I build these around stability, range, and damage, and control, even though you can't really change the damage on your guns. You can't at all. And then sniper rifles, I literally just build them around range and stability. So, special weapon, the bow that just got added to the game. I haven't really used it that much in games, but yeah, that's pretty much just the basic guide on how to mod guns. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll be hopefully back with some more Delta Force content